Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Reasonably Effective Podcast. I'm 10 Types, as always, joined by Uncommon Fossil.
Hello, glad to be here. Looking forward to talking about some new cards.
Yeah, and so we're talking about the megas today. Also, I am a little sick, so that's not amazing. Like a little more than normal, because I often open my videos saying I'm a little under the weather. But anyways, I got someone else here to talk if my voice like dies randomly. So anyways, as I said, we are talking about the megas and new cards in general, as you said, but mostly the megas and
Yeah.
cards more related to them. And before the podcast started, when we were like preparing and stuff, you asked, because looking here on PokemonProxies.com, which has most of the cards we're talking about. I believe at the time of recording this, we're recording this one day before it goes out. So I get, or like 12 hours maybe before there could be a new set of reveals. But anyways, there are 15 megas revealed, I believe, and PokemonProxies.com, which is a site that has translations of them, has 14 of them here. And some of them are from the expansion Phantasmal Flames, which is the international expansion.
Okay.
This expansion it's just the second Mega Evolution era set. The first one is called, I believe, Mega Evolution or Mega Evolutions. Let me check. It's Mega Evolution, yeah. And anyways, Inferno X here is made up of some different Japanese sets. Not entirely sure of all the things going on with it, but Inferno X is the Japanese set, or one of the ones, which features who could have guessed Charizard, of course. And also we have some two decks, kind of like the Marnies and Stevens deck, where they have some cards which will be in the set. But anyways, let's start off though actually with the Mega that is revealed. This was revealed at the World Championships alongside Mega Charizard. But anyways, Mega Dragonite EX is, because I don't think you have anything to add before then, right?
No, I assume besides Inferno X, a Japanese set, there'll probably be another Japanese set that'll be part of Phantasmal Flames, but I certainly don't know that.
Yeah, I think that might be true. Um, yeah, again, I'm not a super Oh yeah, yes. There's something called Mega Dream EX. So I think Mega Dream EX will be part of the other part of the set. As you said, there'd be another one. Mega Dragonite EX here, looking at it. So Mega, like in standard, the newest cards are I regulation mark. Mega Charizard X EX here is I regulation mark.
Yep.
Mega Dragonite EX is also I regulation mark. I heard from some people in like my comment section that it was not the same set. I think they were saying not the same Japanese set. I believe it's the same international set. And also a few things about the Mega era. If you're not familiar, the Mega era is kind of a new era, as in like the packs are going to be different and whatever, and there's some like collection stuff. But anyways, the big thing is that they're introducing Mega Pokemon. They are not getting rid of the regular EXs as we see with the Oricorio EX here, but Mega Dragonite EX here is a Pokemon that gives us 3 prizes. It's a stage 2, evolves from Dragonair, and I'll just read what it does here. So it's a 370 HP stage 2 dragon Pokemon. Its ability is Sky Transport. Once during your turn, you may switch your active with one of your bench Pokemon. And then Ryuno Glide for Water, Lightning. Lightning, you do 330, discard 2 from it. And we're going to talk about these cards and their impact on standard. This one actually is like going to be good and expanded, I guess. But let's be honest, people aren't playing it that much. But yeah, and then we're going to talk about the Megas as a whole and their impact on the game. But what are your thoughts on this card?
Well, it's stage 2. It's 370 HP, dragon type, so it doesn't have weakness except for whatever that one Pokemon that makes it
Yeah,
psychic weak.
Clefairy. Yeah,
Clefairy.
Clefairy, yes.
Yeah, so 370 HP, no weakness, pretty good. Obviously, three prizes as all these are, so potentially pretty tanky. 330 damage for its attack, pretty good. You discard 2 energies, but it's 2 different types of energy for the attack, so you could even power it up the next turn with man, I'm blanking everything now.
Crispin, yeah.
With Crispin. Yeah, I was thinking it was Crispin, but I wasn't positive. So with Crispin, so that's really good because obviously you can't afford to attack and then get knocked out. So 330, you're going to be knocking out your opponent's Pokemon, hopefully. And then the ability is quite nice, right? Latias is very good. You've sung the praise of Latias from day one, as many other people have, and it is a good card. So, but now this is better than Latias, the ability, because it's not just restricted to basics. So potentially a good card. Obviously, stage 2s are awkward, so I don't know it'll be good, but it has potential at least.
Yeah. In Latias, also another difference is Latias lets you retreat for free. However, there is also, or sorry, it lets you retreat for free as opposed to switching, which is
Oh.
worse. Because switching is better because you can like switch twice to get back in the active or whatever. It's not drastically more useful, but it is more useful. Well, you said, oh, is there
No,
something
you're right. No,
more or just
switching is better. It's a lot better because I'm playing. I told you before. Let's play an annoying little grass deck. One of the cards I'm playing is Maractus. Attack like that. Pokemon opponent's Pokemon can't retreat, so Dragonite they in a sense can retreat because they're not retreating. They're switching. So it
yeah.
gets around. You know, obviously any type of retreat locking as well with switching. So yeah, it's better.
So that is meaningful. There is a Dragonite, actually, a like an actual Dragonite from 151. I will say, so these cards are coming out. This one's actually, I believe, coming out in the last set of the year. So very little time with the cards that are rotating that are
Yeah.
in standard right now. Like this Dragonite from 151. But anyways, it says all Pokemon to play have no retreat, which is like again similar. It's not as good, but pretty similar in terms of an ability. And then there is Gengar. Gengar from Hellday Fates, so it lets you switch. It's like the same ability here. I think yes, exactly the same. And that's a stage 2. It has 130 HP, so like low for a stage 2, but it's also a single prizer. So I'd say it's actually better in that regard than Mega Dragonite EX in terms of just the ability. It was played a little in Palafin, but not much. And then it was also played in with Charizard EX as like a tech. You mentioned Maractus. Maractus is like okay, uh there's cards like that. And then there was
Yeah.
also Snorlax. Snorlax was very good, so it was used as a counter
Yes.
for Snorlax when that was in the game.
Yes. Yeah. So that's good. Yeah, I mean, we have what, two Dragonites, at least in format now, that I guess what their G regulation marks, so that means they'll be around next year. Is that correct?
No, they will. The no. Well, I mean,
Okay.
I guess they rotate it next year. So
At
yeah,
so you have whenever, like say March, so you get a few months of it. So we have an
yeah,
EX and the single prize Dragonites that we
yeah.
can play with now. But honestly, they're not huge cards anyway. So if
Mhm.
you know this Mega Dragonite, is the better one, I would guess. Although you want to have different attacking options for different prize card values for attacking, right? To try to force your opponent to take 8 prizes. I assume that's going to be part of the EX, the Mega strategy. Is you're going to have to try to force your opponent to take 8 prizes. I assume to make them viable. So. I can't imagine it's going to be all that strong, but it's not a bad card.
Yeah. Oh, I will also say, so you kind of glossed over Lilies, but that does give it weakness.
Yeah,
Um, and then you essentially it does 20 more for each bench Pokemon, Lilies, Clefairy, EX. And then of course it's like doubling that because you have weakness. So
yeah,
then it's in terms of 40s. So that's 400, which is 10, 9 bench Pokemon between two people. Like it's not like super easy to knock out. I think if I did that math right. Um, but it is like you can knock it out. And that's not like a pretty commonly played card, right?
well,
And
and I
then
think
also,
yeah, and uh, Gardevoir is not a bad deck either, right? As we
yeah,
know.
Gardevoir is
So
good.
I assume you're going to
Um,
say, I don't know if you're going right. Just one world has been very good, so that's going to that probably makes Dragonite very questionable until rotation, which will take away Gardevoir.
Yeah, yeah. Again, that's not that much time. I believe it is some time. There's a chance that it's like not any time at all. But yeah. But then Lily's is the same regulation mark, so it will be with Lily's its entire time in
Yeah,
format. Dragapult isn't rotating. Dragapult will presumably still be good post rotation. This is all. I mean, if it's still like very good, it'll have a Mega Dragonite EX will end up with a bit of a target on its back, accidentally by Dragapult, which isn't great. And then I guess just in terms of the damage, right? That's the thing that we haven't talked about yet, because I feel like the
yeah.
ability is okay, right? It's not insane for the fact that it's like a build of a liability. Just you don't want to stick it in a random deck because it is a 3 prizer. I feel like.
Yeah, you can't. If it was an ability on a basic, obviously you might play it, right? Even if it was a
Yeah,
three
like
prize
yeah,
basic, you might do it because you play Latias a 2 prize basic that's almost not quite as good, right?
yeah,
But you can't play it just as a support Pokemon for the ability. A stage 2 that gives up 3 prizes, that's not an option. So yeah, you're gonna have to be attacking with it, or some other Dragonite, of course. If they obviously which one caveat is if they print a really good just Dragonite EX, which they still might do, then all of a sudden you'd slap in like one copy of the Mega Dragonite, right? But that's not how we're looking at these for the most part. So 330. Question is, can you power it up in one turn? And I don't know
Yeah,
that
I
you
think the
can.
answer is no. I mean, you could like Crispin double or no new upper, and
Yeah,
then you could also
we have the tool, right, that reduces it. Or
no,
no, is that Terra
that's just
Pokemon?
Terra, yeah.
Okay.
And then there is the no, there's electric as well. That being
Yeah.
said, we're going to talk about okay, let's talk about Mega Man EX if you're okay with that as well
Sure.
right now.
Sure thing.
Mega Man EX, I'll say. So let's quickly read what it does. It has 330 HP. It's a stage 1 mega. It's a lightning type. Oh, also, if you didn't know, the first expansion internationally has 1 mega of each type. If you're wondering how many there are, that's an easy way to remember. But anyways, Mega Man EX, its first attack for 2 lightning does 120 and makes it immune to basics next turn. And then its second attack, which is the one I want to talk about here, is 3 lightnings, 200. You can discard all energy from it. You do 130 more, so 330 there. You do have weakness to fighting, but I imagine that's like not as bad as the weakness to nothing but being dragon type on Mega. Actually, I don't know. But it's not like horrendous. And then you have free retreat as well, so it's like not as good as the ability. But anyways, Riot Blaster is like a little worse because well, it's a little worse in the fact that it discards a third energy or all the energy, so you can't have like extras on as well, which you could with Mega Dragonite. But then it is more versatile. You can not discard the energies and do 200, which could be good. And you also have the first attack, which is somewhat versatile. It's like good sometimes against like Raging Bull. It's like really good or something.
Yeah.
Um, and then you also are stage 1, and also you're just one type in terms of energies. So I feel like it's just like a lot better. And like almost outclasses Mega Dragonite here.
Um, it's not a bad point you make. Yeah, it's a stage 1. That's definitely better to get going. Yeah, not too worried about fighting weakness. Although there are more cards to fighting. They're trying to make fighting better, right? With some support.
Yeah.
So that could be a problem. The first attack is very good, right? Like because that was what Flying Pikachu did, right? It walled off
Um,
basics.
Yeah, it's
Like
a similar idea. Flying Pikachu was meaningful for hitting. I was gonna say it's meaningful for hitting weakness on some Pokemon, but it also it's weakness on Squawkabilly, so that's like kind of nice.
yeah.
And then there were like a lot of I don't know. That was a more narrow meta, and it was
No,
like
I
very like techy. But
well,
yeah.
but my point is we could get that again, right? Because there were several good basic decks, right, at that time
Mhm.
as well. Reggie's and stuff was one of those kind of fringe decks in, like you said, like Raging Bolt and stuff. So that first attack could be useful. But definitely need the second attack. So doing 330 again, yeah, it's all lightning. That's better. It's free retreat, which is certainly better. Um, the question becomes now you have what? You have 40 less HP. So that's the question is, which I don't know the answer to, are decks going to be built to scale to 370, or if you're going with the stage 2 at 370, and some are even higher, which is part of this consideration, are you going to be safe from being one shot like 90+% of the time?
Yeah. Well,
That's
and then also
go ahead.
versus 330 as well, right? Because
Yeah,
if you're safe at 370 but also safe at 330, it doesn't matter that much. Or it doesn't matter. And then if you're not safe, then it also doesn't matter. So you need to be in that
yeah,
middle ground. Could be. I mean, they both do 330. So I mean, right? If you look at them, you're in the middle
yeah.
ground.
No, they both do 330. Mega Manetric is 330, so Mega Manetric's getting one shot by
Oh yeah, yeah. Sorry, they are both in terms of doing damage. They're in the middle ground of one
yeah.
shotting the one, not one shotting. Yeah, yeah.
So right. I mean, 330 right now is a tough number to scale to. So is are I imagine there'll be more decks that are going to hit 330, 340 once these megas come out. I would think because we want to be able to one shot the stage 1 megas. I'm guessing, right? So,
Yeah.
but I think there's going to be most decks aren't going to be able to one shot a stage 2 mega. I would think so, but stage 2s are clunky, so that there's questions out there.
Yeah, I definitely am leaning towards Mega Man Electric. I mean, I'm not a big Mega Man
Yeah.
Electric fan. How good do you think? I mean, are you also leaning towards it?
Yeah, I think it is better. It is seeing some use in decks in Japan. I don't I know in some decks that are doing well. I think
Yeah, I'll say
go
so. I
ahead.
have it pulled up here. The results. It's like relatively niche though.
Yeah.
It's like I'd say maybe almost rogue. Maybe it depends where you define rogue decks to be, but I imagine most people would put it as a rogue deck there with like electric box kind of,
E-
but more focused on Manectric.
Right, yeah, I mean, I think the ones I saw were lightning box with like a 1/1 Mega Manetric, probably something like that. Which it is what, it's not focused on that for the most part. You could try that. I think it's going to be tough to have mega focused decks just because two knockouts you lose the game. So that gets a little dicey. But that's part of the discussion as we move on. So yeah, I think Mega Manectric is, to me, the stronger choice right now from the Mega Dragonite, just because the evolution is less.
Yeah, and you also kind of think it's like okay, like a good tech slash a mediocre build around.
Yeah, and obviously lightning is what you can accelerate lightning easier. We have electric generator as well. So which you can't use that on Dragonite, right? Because that only goes to lightning Pokemon, correct? If I'm remembering how it works.
Uh,
Or am I
yeah,
wrong?
generator. Yeah, you're right on that one.
Because I imagine,
Electric can, but
yeah, electric can do either. I imagine you're going to have some you're probably going to have a couple generators chucked in like your Mega Manectric deck as well, I would think. So it just makes it a little more reliable to get powered up. So you discard all energies, so that's the tough part there because then you got to power it up again the next turn. And you can't accelerate to it on the bench, but it has free retreat, so you need, you know,
you
uh,
mean the act? Yeah.
in the active. Sorry, when you attack, you don't get knocked out, and then you need to get to the bench to power it up again. So that's a little awkward.
Yeah. But anyways, it's solid there. I
Yeah.
kind of derailed us in terms of the order of operations,
Yes.
but
All right.
yeah, and I was also trying to think because a lot of the so Uncommon Fossil, how much have you looked at these cards just in general?
A little bit. I mean, I went through them, kind of taking a
Okay.
look at what they were, getting a sense, but I haven't really poured over them too much.
Okay, yeah, because there's a lot of trainers supporting specific types, which is interesting. I'm pretty sure there's not lightning though. I was like trying to think about that. But anyways, yeah. So then let's move to Charizard though here.
Yeah.
Everyone's favorite Pokemon. Now Charizard's cool. Especially this one, Mega Charizard X EX. So first of all, what are your thoughts on the name?
Yeah, the XEX is a little it's clunky, is what I'd say, but it's all right. I mean, Pokemon, the way they recycle these names and stuff, the whole naming has gotten a little odd to me.
Yeah. But anyway, so this is again a stage 2. It's a Mega, so it's a 3 prizer. It involves some Charmeleon. It's a fire type as well, and
Yep.
it I guess I'll mention it could work with Charizard DX in standard, though it won't be together in the format that long. But anyways, you have the attack here, Inferno X for 2 fire, which says discard any amount of fire energy from your Pokemon. It does 90 for each card discarded in this way, which is a high multiplier there.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not gonna. I mean, so do you think this will be good in Charizard EX, or what are your thoughts on this card?
Um, you might. I mean, you have to consider for Charizard, um, Charizard EX, because this obviously Charizard EX gets better as the game goes on. Hitting the big knockout early is the weakness with it, and so this has 90 scale, like you said, is pretty crazy. And especially if more megas are in the game, well, there'll be more than now because there's none. If megas are common, then you're going to need to hit that high multiplier. So then I think if there's a lot of mega decks, you're going to have to play the Mega Charizard XEX in the Charizard decks, I assume.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of Charizard EX, not the Darkness one, but the Fire one, which can do
Yeah.
330 for 4. Um, this is a bit more versatile. It does more damage. It's a bit, I mean, it gives up another prize, but it does more damage, has more HP, is more versatile. So within Charizard EX,
Yeah.
it's interesting. I think it's an option. It's okay. It's not amazing. I'd say it's kind of like I'm going to talk about Mega Gardevoir EX. It's not Mega Gardevoir EX as it is in Gardevoir EX, but it's probably better than the Fire Charizard DX paired with the Darkness Charizard DX. That's my thought. But then, okay. So I guess I'll read the next card here as well. There's some other fire support trainers. Should I read the fire support trainers as well now, or should I wait?
I mean, there's only one more fight. Do you want to hit the other fire Pokemon too now? How do you want to do it?
Yeah, I'll read all the fire cards here.
Go ahead.
Or the cards that are meant to go together. So we got Oricorio EX here, which says with the ability Excited Turbo. As often as you like during your turn, if you have any fire megas in play, you can attach a basic fire from your hand to one of your bench fire Pokemon. Doesn't need to be a mega, but it can. And then we also have 2 other cards here, and these are trainers. You got Heat Burner, which is an item. You discard a fire energy from your hand. Then you get to, if you do, then you choose a tool, special energy, or stadium your opponent has in play and discard it. I kind of like abbreviate it, you need to discard the fire. That's the cost. It doesn't really matter, but that's anyways. And then you have Fire Breather here, which is supporter. Search for 7 fires, basic fires, and put them into your hand, then shuffle your deck, just as a supporter there. So.
You skipped over Grimsley's move though, didn't you?
Well, no, well, yeah, we'll talk about that when we talk about the darkness stuff.
It's darkness. You're right. It's okay. I apologize.
No.
Yeah, sorry. Fire breather, 7 basic energies into hand. Not all that good, right? I don't think.
Yeah. Okay. So I think, well, I don't know. So there's some interesting things about it. So actually, I made a video like when these were revealed. And I like kind of talked about it, but I didn't mention it in Goldengo. It's like interesting in Goldengo there.
Yeah.
Again, it's not going to be there in format together much, so that's kind of why I just didn't talk about it. Also, it's 7 energies, and 7 energies, it's a lot, which is like good, right?
Yes.
But because you look at the supporter card, Lady is a supporter that gets 4 energies, basic energies of any type. Lady's seen play in Goldengo, seen play some things. It's like kind of niche though. But anyways, so 7's a lot more than 4.
Yes.
And getting like you can get value from that in Goldengo as well. However, you're not going to have 7 energies in your deck that often, so you don't want to put a bunch of fire breathers in your deck because you're not going to get that much value. And then also Goldengo, obviously, it's not a fire type deck; it's a metal type. It wants metal energy, so yeah, fire breather is not perfect. Like it's like a little weird. It's not like terrible for that. It's kind of an replacement for Energy Search Pro, but Energy Search Pro is like searchable off of Arvin. This isn't really searchable. So you could play a bunch, but that's not what you want. You could like. And then I don't think you're like desperately in need of some other ace spec. So I think it's okay there. I don't think it's amazing there. But and then within fire decks, again, you're not gonna have like 7 energies, a lot to have. So like I don't know how many energies you're actually playing in your deck. You can get like decent value. I think it's okay, but I don't think it's amazing.
Yeah, what I thought when I saw it, I think the Oricorio is really potentially very good, and we'll talk about that more in a second. But I saw the Oricorio, the Heat Burner, the Fire Breather, and I thought me back to the days of Welder and stuff, because part of why Welder was so good is the other cards that went with it, right? There was a bunch of good fire cards in standard at the time, and obviously expanded even more so. So they're starting. Is this just the start of a package for fire? It's not a bad set when you look at the cards grouped together. So maybe fire's gonna, are we gonna have a bit of a fire renaissance? It's one of the things I'm wondering. I don't think we're quite there with this, but it's potential kind of trending that way.
Yeah, I believe from what I've heard, because Oricorio EX only works if you have a Fire Mega in play. I believe, or from what I've heard, I don't know if this is true, there isn't going to be a Fire Mega basic.
Okay.
There is a stage 1, I will say. It was just Mega Camera up to EX. It doesn't have too much synergy with Oricorio, but it is it's a stage 1, so that'd be easier to get into play if you're like, if you want to do that. But it doesn't forward treat, and so that's like not good. But yeah, Oricorio EX here. Is strong. I want to talk about Heat Burner a little, if though first. So what are your thoughts on it? Or do you have something
on Heat Burner? Well, first, just because you mentioned on Oricorio, the big question is there going to be a basic Mega Fire Pokemon? And if the answer is no, then Oricorio isn't so good. Because the question is, if they print a basic Mega Fire Pokemon, we have Oricorio, it opens up just box style decks, right? It's tough to do with evolutions though.
Yeah, and the reason why I don't think is because, well, so the megas are like from the video game. I don't believe there's actually a basic fire mega in the video game, and people have said there's not going to be one revealed. I've not been paying attention to those reveals. I'm vaguely aware of what they are, but not theorizing about the future. But I think it's likely that there's not going to be one.
Okay. Okay. So that's a big deal there. But you asked me about Heat Burner. It's a very good card potentially. Discard a basic fire, and you get rid of a tool, special energy, or a stadium. I don't know that we've had that option of things to discard from before. I can't think of it. So, very good. I mean, this will be a card that potentially will go in a variety of decks, right? You might even,
like what?
Well, if there, I don't know. Right now, no. The answer is no.
It could go in it could go in Dragapult. I didn't think of that. Charizard, obviously, and then there are some, maybe Gold, probably not Goldengo,
but here's the question: like, if special energy becomes a major thing for some decks, then this becomes a good counter. If there's certain stadiums that become a big problematic or tools, this becomes a big card. So, so if something like one like if special energy becomes a big issue, I can see decks playing Heat Burner with some fire energies just to take advantage of it, right? As long as you have.
Well,
Go ahead.
yeah, but that being said, so stadiums you can counter with just a stadium. So if just like a stadium super good, you can play other stadiums.
Right.
This is searchable though. However, there is tool scrapper to get rid of tools.
Yeah.
If tools, it's just tools, and there's also enhanced him to get rid of special energies. So if it's just one of the three, it's like I wouldn't put this in like Guardwar. Like Guardwar, like obviously it doesn't like really fit at all. I'm
Yeah.
trying to think if there's something that, like could kind of tech and fires, but not amazing. Like Goldango, I wouldn't put this in Goldango. Um, you could, but I wouldn't. But that's kind of the thing you're talking about, right? You could if it's like really good.
Yeah.
Um,
If
I'd say I'd rather play one of those other cards.
like if there's a format like if they say reprinted Path to the Peak, right? And people are
Yeah.
playing a lot of Jet Energy or something like that, then people may go, we need this in our decks, right? I
Yeah.
probably
No.
probably the bigger way it might see play is in control decks, right? Because this is a really nice option for control deck. You don't necessarily play a ton of energies in those decks, but now you put this in a couple fire energies, and you can really help control what your opponent might do.
Yeah, and this card's actually very similar to Dangerous Drill. I don't remember if I believe you played this at Eternus, so I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Because you played that, and then it's the same thing, it's discarding the same things. It's like, this actually can't discard your own stadiums, but anyways, and that got rid of Darkness Pokemon, so it's different. This is going to be, I think, a little bit better, but it's a similar idea, and I think Dangerous Drill was cool. I don't know. So you played it in Eternus, or not really?
I toyed around with it. I don't think I tried it at times. I don't. It was an in and out card, probably out more than in.
Yeah. Uh-huh. But anyways, like Heat Burner, I think is interesting. I do like it. I like these kinds of cards that are like solid counter cards, but not crazy.
Yeah, it certainly seems like a more impactful card potentially than Fire Breather, right? Which is a lot more niche.
Yeah, I don't. I've heard a lot of talk about Fire Breather, and I've heard people say it's good, and I don't really agree. Even in Goldango, I don't love it.
No, I don't think so. I mean, unless you're obviously you're really going heavy with the fire energies, and I don't. I like Goldingo. I don't see that as something I do. So what do you want to talk about next? Do you want to jump to the other fire Pokemon, or you want to?
I mean, we haven't really talked about Oricorio yet, right?
Okay. Yeah. So it's a basic. So basic EX 190 HP. Not a terrible HP number. Really really nice ability. The attack does 110 for 3. That's not great. Yeah, well, it's bad for the HP and 2 prizes, but unlimited acceleration of fire from hand, very good, right? You have to get them in hand, but you're not damaging yourself like with Gardevoir. It's on a basic. That's huge. I'd rather have Oricorio than having one of the stage 2 single prize Pokemon that does the same thing. So
Yeah, like Emboar, which
Right.
is the same type.
yeah. Now this is only to the bench. I think is Emboar to any Pokemon can be active as well.
Yeah, Emboar and pretty much all those of that like type, like Baxcalibur.
Yeah. So that's definitely a downer, but you can get around that. So it's potentially very good. I just with if you have to play a stage 1 or stage 2 though, I'm not loving it, right? That makes it a lot tougher to make it useful.
Yeah. So, and I feel like I do want to talk about it a little with camera. But I do like camera, but I want to talk about that right after this. I think.
Okay.
But because it like kind of works. But Mega Charizard
Mhm.
XEX, I think, is like the way that you want to be playing Oricorio EX. And do you think that's like good enough? I've been hearing people say it's crazy. I guess. I saw a comment on like a video. They were like, "Oh, I can like." Someone's like, "Oh, well, if like Charizard's good, then I can like play Excalibur. It should play Excalibur because it's like good against it."
Mm.
I don't think it's going to be that good that like you can play. That's going to be like a target for weakness. So, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Where do you,
Okay, so if Mega Charizard, because obviously once we lose the Charizard EX, the Darkness one, then we need something to power it up and to get energies in
Yeah.
play. So Oricorio is really good for that. Um, yeah, I think obviously the multiplier is really good. We have rare candy to get it evolved. The retreat cost us 2. We have air balloon, so we can give that free retreat because we do have to switch out of return. So How good it'll be, it's certainly a consideration, right? Mega Charizard as its own deck, I assume. I'm not so sure it'll be super successful, but it's certainly something to give a go at.
Yeah, I think it's all right. I kind of not like crazy, but I think it's fun. I will also mention Moltres here. I don't know if you have too much to say, but it does do 110 for one fire, two EXs, or 40, or sorry, 20 for one fire to not EXs. And it does have weakness, so you could one shot like Ogerpon, Teal Mass Ogerpon EX. Yeah, it's okay, not great, but it's all right.
Yeah, it's like those cards that didn't hit for weakness in the past. So hitting for weakness is potentially meaningful. Yeah, I mean you'll play it some. I guess the Oricoro, it will. Could there be a use in Raging Bolt deck? There's probably better ways to
Or
handle.
Choreo. Well, because
Yeah,
you need like the evolution, right? Or presumably, assuming you do.
yeah, I
They're both
guess.
like very clunky. Um, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, as long as it's just an evolution. Yeah, you can't put that much space in for it. Okay,
yeah.
so
But so
go ahead. So
uh,
that was it for Oricoro for you, right?
yeah. Well, except I do want to talk about my camera PX. It like
Yes.
kind of flows together, not exactly. Um, But oh, I just saw Cinders. We're not going to talk about Cinders today, but I'm so excited for that. Anyway, so Mega Camera Up DX is a Mega and it is a Fire, so that's the connection there. Also, it has 4 retreat, so not a Pokemon you want to be splashing in if you can't attack with it. That's bad. Um,
Yes.
and it's a stage 1, so no Latias, no big air balloon, no regular air balloon. I mean, I guess you will use regular air balloon, but you need like two to actually, which you can't do to get it to retreat.
No,
Anyway,
I
so
cracked it. All I gotta do is play Mega Dragapult as well.
that's true.
Dragonite, I
No
mean Mega
Dragonite.
Dragonite,
Yeah,
and I'm good
you
to
got it.
go.
You got it. Yeah, and then you got anyway. So you have 2 attacks here. The second one could be paired with Oricorio EX. It's
Yeah.
fire, and then 3 colors, 280. Discard 2 from it, which is okay. You can pair it with Ignition Energy as well. It's okay there. Don't think it's a builder. I don't think it's like that good. But it's kind of usable. But then you have the attack Roasting Heat. For one fire, you do 80, and if your opponent's active is burned, you do 160 more, so 240 there. And it does have 340 HP. I will also mention, I haven't talked about it yet. The supporter card Wally's Compassion, which is like Cheryl. You like heal all the damage from like your megas or whatever, and then you
Yeah.
like I think you return the energy to your hand or something. So it's like it heals. You kind of know the type of card, which I feel like could be I feel like it could be applicable here. But what are your thoughts on Mega Camera up here?
Yeah, and Wally's Compassion, it goes to your hand though. That Cheryl, I think
Yeah,
they got discarded. So if you're playing
yeah,
Oricorio, now you can slap them back down.
yeah.
Now the problem is Camera Up is in the active. You got to get it to the bench. The retreat cost
Oh,
is
yeah,
4, so that's awkward.
yeah.
But
I mean, you're probably using their first attack, right?
yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I think if you're using the Mega Camera Up, it's for the first attack, and then the question is how easily can you get your opponent's Pokemon burned, right? Because if you're
Yeah,
not burning them, you're doing 80, and that's not good enough. So so if they're burned, doing 240 plus 20 more for burn, so you're at least doing 260. Um, you're two-shotting things, which can work as long as you're not getting one shot. Obviously, how good is water will be a question, but 340 HP on a stage 1, if you can get the burn going, then yeah, I think this is viable.
yeah. And I think the best way is Volcan. No, you could use Volcanion EX if that's in the active. It burns your opponent. It is a basic. They both have high retreat cost, so it's like kind of clunky. And then there is Volcarona, which is a stage 1. You discard a fire from your hand, and then you burn your opponent's active. There is also Magmortar. If they're burned, increases burn damage. I think that's too many moving pieces there. I would not play that personally. I don't think, but it's like kind of okay. If you are, as you did, you're two-shotting, that could push you up to one-shotting, though I think it'll be pretty difficult there. Um, not one-shotting everything anyway. So
Yeah,
Mega Camera Up, though, I think it's very good. I mean, like, you can look at Palafin EX. Palafin EX is a weird Pokemon, right?
yeah,
But it does 250 for 1 on a stage 1, which is really good. Palafin, again, it's weird. It's also hit by the fact that I think Alive actually hurt its competitive viability long term because it like flomped, and I think that's, but anyways, that's not for today. But that's like good. It's not a normal stage 1, right? You don't play it like a stage 1, but
right.
the camera up is you do need to get it burned, which is a bit of a setup. But it's not like terrible. So I don't know. I like this a lot. I think it's very solid and efficient. I feel like almost it's like the decks you like. You like decks that just like hit for damage are relatively straightforward. I mean, it's a tiny bit of a combo. you need to discard something, or you need to like burn, which is probably through discarding or something. But I like it.
The problem I have, my concern with Mega Camera is the three prizes, though. Since I'm not one-shotting things, right? With the Palafin, obviously we know the awkwardness of it. This has its own awkwardness as well. But with the Palafin, you're not one-shotting things, but you're also not giving up two prizes. I mean, you're not
Yeah,
giving up
well, but
three,
the
you're giving up
awkwardness,
two.
I mean, the awkwardness is it's like really hard to set up again. Or
Yeah.
it's kind of hard. I don't know. I mean, I guess it's gotten better, but
Yeah, with air balloon and stuff, it's you can get around that. I think Mega Camera up as long you have to be not getting knocked out and using Wally's compassion, right? But then you have to be getting the
yeah,
burn set up, and you need to be able to cycle that a bunch of turns in a row. I would say to make it viable. Otherwise, because not because all they need is two knockouts and you lose the games. That's my
yeah,
problem. And I'm gonna have to attack like what 4 times or something to win a game, maybe more.
yeah. Maybe more. Maybe like 6.
Yeah, and then
Um,
if I have to have six
maybe not.
times,
No, probably not 6. But
right. But if it is, that's the problem. Like, well, if I can't, if I'm like up against, it depends what you're up against, right? So that I'm concerned with how it's going to prize trade and how the knockouts go with it. So that's
yeah.
the concern with these.
Yeah, I was also thinking about them because some actually Team Devolution. I think Team Devolution will rotate, so they won't be together
Mm.
too much. Wait, am I right on that?
Let me see.
Um, yeah. But
Yes.
then like obviously the megas have high HP, but then the previous evolutions have really low HP. So that could be an issue as well, giving your opponents more opportunities to like go after them. It's kind of weird, right?
Yeah.
Obviously with the V maxes, the HP difference was meaningful, but not like absurd. With the regular EXs, like, it's more meaningful, it's bigger. But then now it's even bigger. So that's a pretty pretty big deal. You're getting an extra 260 HP when you evolve, which is like a lot. Which
Right.
could be good, it could be bad.
Right. The HP changes is huge, but also you're giving up now two less prizes. With an EX, you're giving up one less. Now with the Megas, you're giving up two less prizes. So
Yeah.
it's an interesting trade off. One of the things, since we're talking a little about the Megas in general, is I don't think there's like Mega trainers really, right? For the most part,
Yeah. There's the one that searches for a mega, an item.
yeah, and there's the Wally's Compassion that heals them, but there's not a lot, not as much as say the tag teams, right? The original three prize
I think
Pokemon.
there is. I think what did tag teams have? They had the tag call. There's tag call.
Right, tag call. They had the supporters.
Yeah, but the supporters didn't necessarily work with the Pokemon. They just all
That's
worked
true.
with tag call.
Yeah, that's
Um,
true.
I think the tag teams are just stronger. Um, and then there was GX synergy. There's not really EX synergy, I feel like. I don't know if there's that much GX synergy, but there was some.
Yeah. Well, the tag teams were the HP was significantly higher than anything else in the game, right? The Megas, they're higher, but they're not like that much higher. I think, right?
Um, yeah, I mean, I think the tag teams were just a little like the basic tag teams were a little higher than the stage two prizers, but they're
Okay.
also basic. So,
Yeah.
anyways, yeah. So I think we can move on, right?
Yeah. So we could talk about Mega Sharpedo next, or
Yeah, you want to read it here?
yeah. So Mega Sharpedo stage one, 330 HP. Two attacks on it, weak to grass, free retreat, which is nice. Draw two cards, Greedy Fangs, and does 70, so not bad there. Drawing cards is nice, but you do need to be taking prizes as well. And Hungry draws two darkness, 120, and if it has any damage counters on it, it does 150 more. So I guess the idea is, well, first, and I think we do have a stadium, right, that will help you get damage on
Uh,
yourself.
mm,
Am I
um,
wrong?
and yeah, okay, yeah. So the funny thing is, I mean, we do kind of not in standard, we kind of do, but the new stadium you're talking about is, I think from you're talking about a new one, right?
Yeah, is it? I know there's a type thing, so it's the wrong type. Okay, so
Yeah, yeah.
it's a dangerous ruins. I was thinking of it, and you put a basic in play, you put two damage counters on it, except for darkness Pokemon. So, yeah,
Yeah.
so that kind of ruins that idea. Okay,
Wait
uh,
a second. Oh no, wait. So you can use the water Carvana and then the Darkness Sharpedo EX. So you could do that. Mega
is
Sharpedo.
that one staying in format? And it's not
Yeah.
rotating, is
There's
it?
two of them, but no, it's not rotating yet. So you could do that. That's like funny. That seems like bad. I'm not gonna lie. I think there's is there something else? Like there was a Gape Drawback that rotated. There was
Right.
also there's Calamitous the Snowy Mountain or whatever. But anyways, there's also the Toxtricity, which is very good with it as well. You want to read that?
So Toxicity, the stage one. It's got the ability once during a turn you can search your deck for a basic darkness energy, put it onto one of your bench darkness Pokemon. If you do, you put 2 damage counters on that Pokemon, shuffle your deck. So, and they're in the same set, this Toxicity and the Mega Sharpedo. So it's designed to go together. Energy acceleration on a single prize stage one. You search your deck, which is really the best place for it for the most part. So pretty good there. It goes to the bench, but Mega Sharpedo has free retreat. So if you have one in the active, you can power up the bench as well. So which also does allow us to use the Wally's Compassion to heal this guy up as long as he's not getting one shot, of course. So yeah, so the numbers, what I'm doing, what, 290? 270, sorry, for 2 energy.
Yeah,
That's a pretty good number.
it's solid. Yeah, and then you can accelerate with the Toxtricity as well. I do also want to mention that Weavile here. Weavile is a Pokemon single prizer stage one for 2 darkness. You could do 60, but you could do you can do 190 for 2 darkness if it has 50 HP or less. It starts with 90. So there you could double Toxtricity.
Yeah.
Is there a Water Sneasel? Yeah, there's a Water Sneasel that's not rotating. So you can actually play the Water Sneasel and then do that like weird stadium combo
Yeah.
and then like accelerate one. But anyways, I did want to mention that, which is like a similar concept to the Mega Sharpedo EX. It's lower prizes but less damage.
Right.
How good do you think these are? Because honestly, I don't know how good these. You said like I mean like 270 is good. It's not like a damn number you're looking for really though. I mean, there's full
No,
makeup, but
it's well 270. Yeah. I mean, you're not really one shotting. It's not terrible. I mean, the numbers have shifted some. I don't love it. In one sense, maybe the way it's designed, and it's really not good enough. But you attack with Greedy Fangs first. You do 70. You draw 2 cards. You don't get knocked out, of course, because that's terrible. And then you do 270 plus the 70. So now you're at what, 340. That knocks out most things.
yeah.
And it's a stage one, so turn 2 you can definitely you can attack with it turn 2. Um, I don't love that game plan, but in one sense, I think that's kind of the way the designers kind of present that as an option.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I kind of like it. I mean, Greedy Fangs is just kind of bad, right? It's not much damage. Drawing 2 isn't that good.
No, look, if you play it, your deck with play boss in it, you'll take a knockout at some point at 70 every few games, right? Because you won't knock,
Yeah,
you'll
that's
finish
fair.
something off, and then you're drawing 2 cards, so you're setting up your next turn. So better. So it's not bad, right? It's certainly better than not
Yeah.
having it at all.
Yeah,
But
and I guess I'm bashing on this attack, but I like Cynthia's a lot. And the first attack on Cynthia's is kind of similar. And the second attack on Cynthia's is also kind of similar. But it has all like the buffs as well. I guess like it's a 2 prizer and it has like crazy support. And the support's like the good part about it.
yeah, so again, well, look, I got, but the good thing is, honestly, these cards are okay, but they're not great. Which is, I think if the 3 prizes are like really great, it's going to be bad for the game. So I'm glad there's questions of the viability. I got to say.
Yeah. I will say also, like we talked about Oricorio EX being potentially good depending on the stuff around it. Then Toxtricity. I do like Toxtricity. I don't know if it's good in anything else. Maybe Zorg, but I don't love it there. I mean, I don't feel like that's the big issue, but it could be used. And also, you do damage yourself, which could be good for Ends Reshiram. And then also, you could pair it with Marnie's. Again, that like doesn't make any sense. I feel like the Darkness deck in standard. Well, there's 3 of them, right? There's Charizard, where it is like horrendous. It doesn't do anything.
Right.
There's Limitless isn't loading. Grimstone, where it's pretty bad, and then there's also Zoroark, where it's like kind of meh. I guess also I was gonna say something. There was Roaring Moon. Roaring Moon, you actually will be rotating, I believe.
Yeah.
But that's like kind of worth mentioning.
I mean, there's the other Darkness megas. Should we just hit those while we're talking
Yeah.
Darkness
Let's do that.
in
Let's do that.
Weavile? The first one here, Mega Gengar EX, 350 HP, stage 2, so low for a stage 2. It gives a 3 prize,
Yeah.
I would say. But it's got the ability shadow hiding when your darkness Pokemon is knocked out from an attack for your opponent's EX Pokemon, and that's all EXs, not just Megas. They take one less prize, so it doesn't. The effect does not stack, which is important. But that's very nice. And assuming EX decks are going to be the main decks, I assume they will be. Obviously, an EX only gives up one. Single prize decks give up no prizes, and the Mega, like a Mega Gengar, only gives up two prizes, so not bad there. That's why the HP is low, I think. And then Void Gale for 2 energies does 230. You move an energy to one of your bench Pokemon. So the idea is if when you get knocked out, you're easily powering up your next Pokemon at 350. You're not getting knocked out every time, but some of the time, giving up one less prize. So now they have to knock out 3 Mega Gengars, doing 230, and you should be able to stream it pretty easily. Well, it's a stage 2. That's the problem there, but the energy is easy to do. So, that's, I guess, the path to viability with the Mega Gengar.
Yeah. I think it's interesting. You can play it by itself. You can play it with like a box. There's some other darkness Pokemon as well that are like okay. Punk Helmet as well. I'll mention the tool. If it's attached to a darkness, then you're hidden to in the active. Then you put 4 damage counters on the attacking Pokemon. And that's really interesting. It also stacks with Spiritomb, which is the same thing. It's an ability. It's 1 extra damage counter there. And then there was this interesting Mega Absol EX. And Darkness is the only type to have 3 Megas revealed so far.
Yeah.
I believe Fire and Psychic and Dragon have 2, and the rest have 1. But anyways, Mega Absol EX, a basic here. So basic stage 1, stage 2 you got. But Doom Period for Darkness Colorless, you do an instant knockout on your opponent's active if they have exactly 6 damage counters on them, which the tool as well as Spiritomb will help with. And then Cruel Claw here for 2 Darkness and a Colorless, you do 200. If your opponent reveals their hand, discard a card you find there, which I think are like okay attacks. Doom Period is like obviously instant knockout's good, but you need to like set it up. And then the second attack's like I think it's okay, decently disruptive, but it's not like absurd either.
Yeah, I'm concerned with Doom Period of getting the damage counters on. I don't think it's going to be easy with what we have, right? We don't have the Radiant Pokemon that lets us move damage counters around. What was that Radiant? Was that Sneasel? No.
No, Alakazam, I think.
I think you're right. Yeah, that you got to move damage counters that from on your opponent's Pokemon, something like that, or something like placing damage counters. Well, I guess you want Mimic. Yep. I mean, you want
Monkey Dory.
Yeah. Monkey Dory. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's what you.
There's
really...
also.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Team Rocket's Venture Bomb, and then if you're looking to reduce it, you could also do you could picnic basket to heal them, as well. That seems bad.
Yeah, depending what you're doing, because if you're doing things like the Dangerous Ruin Stadium, which is in the same set, so that would get you 2 on it, and then you obviously we have the Psychic guys that place the damage counters and knock themselves out. You know what I mean?
Dusclops and Duststorm. Not Duststorm is 13.
Right, but
Dusclops is 5, which is like it's kind of sketchy as well.
It's 1 away, so then you have to have the Monkey Dory and move 1 damage counter, right?
Yeah.
Which you might have. So yeah, I think it's gonna be tricky. Expanded, you could do it more easy. Certainly, you can do it in expanded, right? That's kind of the question to me. Could I have some fun expanded with it? And then the second one, discarding the card from hand, is a nice control thing. 200 damage with that. Can you power it up easily enough and all? I think
it's okay. Just like okay.
Yeah, I think it's going to be tough to make it useful.
Yeah. Do you think there's a darkness box here? I feel like Mega Gengar EX and Tox Twisty are both pretty nice cards. Oh, and then there's the supporter, which you mentioned earlier, and you're like, oh, I skipped. Okay. And then so I skipped it again. But it says, look at the top 7 cards of your deck, choose a darkness Pokemon you find there, put it onto your bench. It says, shuffle the other cards face down and put them on the bottom of your deck. But you can't play a turn 1 as well. But why does it say shuffle them face down? Like, what, don't you always shuffle face down?
I guess, obviously these are translations from the Japanese cards, unofficial translations, so I'm assuming maybe they phrase it different in Japan, because I don't, right, you never shuffle face up, so I don't know why it would say that, right? You could just shuffle them and put them on the bottom of your deck, would mean the same thing, I believe, yes.
Yeah. But anyways, this is interesting. It's like pretty hit or miss, right? I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, so what it allows you to do is get an evolution Pokemon onto your bench, right?
Yeah.
So, oh, okay, you can't do it turn one. It is hit or miss. Uh, you know, probably the question. Yeah, I mean, I'm probably also wondering is it going to be an expanded card to have a little fun with? But even then, it's going to be a fun, silly thing. I don't think. I mean, you could put your Charizard EX onto the bench, but then you don't get to use the ability. So that's not good. I don't know. Maybe there's some cards that'll be good or are good we're not thinking of. But with the
Yeah. I
cards,
mean, I like it with the Mega Gengar and also the Toxtricity. I don't love it. I like it. I think it's okay.
yeah, I mean, getting Mega Gengar onto the bench. I mean, if you're playing Mega Gengar and Toxicity as a deck, then yes, you're going to play. I imagine Grimsley's move. I would guess one or two copies in your deck. I would think as well. So, but I don't see it as being overly impactful. But maybe we're not thinking of the right cards to pair it with.
Yeah, and it's also weird because it's like hit or miss, so it's useful. Like you can't rely on it. I mean, there are ways to kind of like set it up, but they're a little more clunky. And then also it's not like it's not absurd. I mean, it's like good value, but it's not like doing normal supporter stuff. So you need to use it when you have a free supporter. But you also can't really search out supporters. So I feel like if we had something like Lumineon V or Tapu Lele GX or whatever, I'd like this. I wouldn't love it, but I'd like it a decent amount. But we don't. So yeah.
There's a Mega with an ability that could work with this, right? I'm thinking. Isn't there
Uh
one that puts a card from your hand on top of your deck?
oh, there's like a regular card. There's a stage one that's like a Ranguru.
Yeah, like the older
Um
Rangaroo.
yeah, there's just a regular stage one like that. Yeah.
Okay, that's in these
The
cards somewhere, not in EX though.
yeah, I can't find it. It's colorless. It's a gumshoes. I found it. Yeah.
Okay,
And there's
Gumshoe.
also the stadium.
Oh yeah,
Academy at Night. Yeah, there we go.
yeah. So Academy and Knight would go in that deck, or Gumshoes. And Oranguru had some value, right? So Gumshoes maybe does. So that Oranguru was a basic, which is a huge difference there. But you need to stack the top of your deck, but you can't use Cypher Manix Code Breaking because that's your supporter for turn. So so you need
Yeah.
one of those cards, and you could use it. I don't think you can get the payoff to make it worthwhile though.
Yeah. So overall, you think the darkness cards are also kind of meh?
Yeah, and I'm probably even a little more suspect on those right now, is my opinion.
Okay.
But
I'd say I do. I think I'm a little higher on you than them, or on
well,
them than you. Um,
I think the toxicity is potentially pretty
oh,
good.
okay.
But
Yeah.
if I take it, but looking at the megas though on their own, I'm not as big on those.
Okay. I think Toxtricity is good. I do also think Manginger EX is pretty solid. Um, maybe I think there's potential.
Yeah,
Originally, I didn't like it that much. Then people like talked about it, and I was like, oh, I kind of like it. I kind of like it.
yeah. A lot of it'll come down to can you get the stage two deck to work, and stage two decks obviously can work, as we see Charizard and Dragapult doing not too terribly. So
Yeah. There's a lot of good stage twos. But it's a three prizer. Well, it's kind of a three prizer. Not really. But yeah, I don't know. I'm interested in it. It could be really annoying as well. We could like do some like control looping thing or something. Theoretically, not sure what that would look like. But then we
yeah,
have one last mega that's like a new set of megas here, which is the last one we're going to talk about like a lot, I think. This is Mega Dancy EX here, which is a basic mega one. It's one of them. There's some of them.
yeah.
And for two psychic here, it does discard up to two energy from it, and it does 120 for each energy discard in this way. It doesn't say card. Don't know if that's right, but anyways, so that can do up to two for you there. Then your ability here, Diamond Coat, says you take 30 less, and you have 270 HP. I feel like the ability like isn't very meaningful. I mean, it's like more HP, right? It's like
Right.
good, but it's not like crazy or anything.
Right. I mean, damage reduction is generally better than adding HP, right? Um,
Yeah.
as long as as long as you're surviving, because it stacks turn over turn. Obviously, the HP is pretty good on it. At 300 to get one shot. The damage level I don't love though, right? At 240
I mean, it's
max.
kind of like Ice Rider, right? I feel like it's pretty similar to
Yeah,
that. Which you like, and you
and I
have a Wonder Patch as well, which is accelerated basic Psychic from your discard 20 your bench Psychic Pokemon.
yeah, and I did like, and I liked Ice Rider, and yeah, it was essentially the same thing at three prices. This one's a basic, so it's better in that regard. Obviously, the HP is lower. Other than that, because that was I don't remember what it was, three something, right? Um,
Yeah, 320, I think.
I think yeah. So just a fraction lower, both weak to metal. Um, and the problem with Ice Rider was that damage there. A lot of the time with Ice Rider, the damage level wasn't high enough to be good enough. There was a certain periods when it was okay, but then there were other periods when it just
I think it was like
wasn't
decent though.
good enough.
Well, I'm gonna check on that one because you played it.
I
I
did.
don't know. I wonder. But are you just saying like, oh, it's bad to
No, I think I
like
think
because
I think the meta at certain times made it good, and the meta at certain times made it more suspect. Just hitting the 240 sometimes felt good. You were okay, and sometimes it wasn't. Now, part of why Ice Rider was so good is we had the whole Intellion engine, right? The Drizzle Intelligent shading dealings. We could ping as well during part of the time, and we had Scuba Up Net. So that made the water stuff really good, which I don't think we're not getting that. I mean, with Mega Dancy now, we do have the Gardevoir EX right now, but that's going to rotate away.
yeah, and I also don't love it there. I mean, we'll talk. We'll briefly. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if we'll actually talk about Mega Gardevoir, but long story short, it's like good in Gardevoir EX and probably
Yeah,
bad outside of it. But yeah, actually, so yeah, the meta. You were right. The meta like depended like based on the meta, it was different. But notably, it was like two shotting pretty consistently. However, against three prizers, then two shotting was okay, and against three prizers, two shotting was okay. Against two prizers, it wasn't. You
yeah.
just weren't doing enough there. So um, yeah, we'll see. I guess it probably will depend on like if this is two shotting megas, then it could be good enough. And it's also this can one shot basics, which are seeing play as well.
Right, and you have Wonder Patch. I don't think you want to use Gardevoir EX that we have in standard because you don't want to lower the HP. That's part of what you're relying on with this. Is you need to not be getting one shot. Also with the Mega Diancie, that I don't know that how likely that is. Now it's weak to Metal type, and Metal's generally not a terrible weakness, right? Goldango's good, but there's not a ton of Metal decks typically.
Yeah, and with like Goldengo, which Goldengo is very good, but also being weak to it, like it makes the matchup worse. But like they can still one shot you with that weakness.
Right, it's very good at scaling, so they'll get to the number even if you weren't weak, probably. So yeah. All right, so I know we're going longer than we planned. We're not long yet, but if we finish all these other cards, we'll go long. So what do you want to do?
I think we'll quickly go through the rest of the megas here. So let's actually look at the meta in Japan because the ones we talked about so far are the ones that aren't out in Japan. So I think they're the most interesting to talk about because it's more speculation here.
Yep.
We talked about a few of them, but in Japan, I'll quickly go over the meta. The top deck is Gardevoir EX. Mega Gardevoir EX is within that deck and is fine. Not too much to break down. It helps the deck. There's a bunch of things that help the deck in this set, or like two. Or I know there's four. There's the previous evolutions, which are minor upgrades, and
Yep.
then you got Dragon Ball, you got Goldengo. Don't think there's any megas there. You got Raging Bolt, you got Charizard, you got Marnies. Then we have Cynthia's. I will say fighting. Yeah, we said that before. You said that earlier. Fighting gets
Yeah.
better with some items and stuff. Should we go more into that or not?
It's up to you. I'll leave that. I don't
Okay, I'll
think we need
say
to.
that's enough. I've talked a lot about fighting on my channel as well. But then there's also with fighting, there's Mega Lucario EX. Mega Lucario EX itself is not a super crazy Pokemon. It's like kind of whatever, I think. But again, the fighting stuff around it is very good, so it's seeing some play. There's Cereal is the next deck. I'm looking here at Pokemon Book. And then there is Ends, which I don't think has any of that stuff. Arcaludon that might play a Mega Mawile EX, which is like it's just a basic. It's like solid, but it's like a tech option. There's Joltik, which is Joltik box. Then there is Mega Manectric EX, which is kind of lightning box as well.
Yeah.
Mega Venusaur EX did see more play originally. It looks like it's fallen off some, but that like heals, moves damage around. I think Mega Venusaur is interesting. Um, it seems like clunky though. Because you like it's a lot of energy on a stage two.
I'm trying to remember what the Mega Venusaur does right now.
Yeah, well, it is so it's attack here for 4, it does 240. It does heal 30 from itself, but that doesn't seem that meaningful.
Okay.
It has 380 HP, and stability lets it move basic grass energy around your board. It does have 4 retreat as well, so not great there.
I mean, the HP is really high, right? So you're relying on it being super tanky. Um, the problem is if you use the was the support or compassion or something, right? You lose all your energy, And
Yeah, we
now
can move it off.
you can move it off and then heal and move it back. Yeah, so I guess that's the way you're playing it, right?
Yeah, you can also do it with Turbo Scenario. I think both are good. Um, yeah, they're pretty similar, honestly, on the deck. Because you can evolve instantly with the Grass Stadium, which is an interesting card. We'll probably talk about more as we get closer. I imagine we'll do like a top 10 list or something. But yeah, I can't find it. I guess it's in the other set.
Okay. Yeah, I'm taking a quick look for it here and not finding it. Oh,
Yeah, it's
Vitality
on.
Forest, right?
Yeah,
So, yeah, I mean, which is potentially a big deal, but not yet. So, can you get away with a big tanky attacker? They're always appealing, right? I mean, at least to a lot of people, they're always appealing to me. They tend you tend to kind of underperform though. Usually, the decks that hit hard tend to outperform the decks that are looking to tank more. Um,
yeah,
so will it work? Obviously, if you heal off every turn and at doing 240, so you're two-shotting everything. That's kind of the way you're looking at it, and you're not it takes them a bunch of turns before you get knocked out. Um, it could work. It's a lot to get set up though, right? You got to get these four energies in play and all that. So I'm definitely concerned about it going. I guess we have what the grass.
Ogre.
What's the teal mask ogre pawn to get energies in play, and then we can move it to the Venusaur. But I don't know if we're gonna get set up quickly enough to make that work. So you probably need some other grass attacker as well. I don't know what that would be. Um, so you need some
Yeah.
alternative attacker in that deck, I think, as well to kind of smooth out the process. And if you could find that, then maybe it could work.
Yeah. But overall, what are your thoughts on like the megas on the mechanic as a whole? Do you think like in terms of balance and interest, but like balance specifically?
I was really concerned when they first got announced. I was pretty negative on it. You were more positive on it than I was. I think what they're doing is pretty fair. The HP bumps they're meaningful, but they're not insane. The Pokemon that we have so far with the attacks and the abilities are fair and balanced. I think that they're viable but not great. I like the fact that that we have some more useful abilities too, because it raises the question of can we take a three prize Pokemon and play it for the ability? Because some of the abilities are pretty
Yeah.
good. Now it's pretty dicey to give a three prize support Pokemon, right? You probably can't do it,
Yeah.
but it's
I'd
nice.
like to see more though from them.
Yeah. I guess the one question is, and I don't know how long we're getting Megas for. Is this just like for a couple sets, or we're getting like a year and a half? I don't know that anyone knows that yet, right?
Yeah.
Because the Scarlet Violet's ending early for these Megas, and how's if we're getting another year after this, then what usually would happen is we start to get better cards as it goes on. They usually kind of start off with the weaker cards and get stronger as it goes on. So are they going to get better and how much better? I hope they don't get too much better. That'd be my main concern.
Yeah. I'm definitely not on the same page as you there. I mean,
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, I see the same stuff in terms of balance in like objective thoughts. I personally though do like strong cards. That are like kind of fun. With like a lot of things going on in them, and like the megas are relatively simple and relatively meh. Meh, but like on the like meh as in like average EX, which like most of them just aren't super good.
Yeah.
I think like currently the metagame is pretty fun. It could be a little more diverse at the top, but it's pretty solid. And the decks that are good are more interesting than the megas. I think they're all right. I don't think they're terrible. Um, but I don't know. I'd like to see again. You mentioned abilities. There's like I think four abilities, and like Mega Dragonite. There might be five. I don't remember. But like Dragonite has a usable one, but it's like not great.
Yeah.
Mega Gengar, and then Mega Kangaskhan. I believe those are the three that have useful
Okay.
abilities. And I might be forgetting one, but I want to see like something like Pheasantipede, but a three prizer. Maybe not quite Pheasantipede, but like something that's
Yeah.
a solid support. Kangaskhan's kind of there. I don't, but I'd like to see more like that as well. Maybe something that is a really fun, unique ability. Gengar kind of is there, but it's also a stage two there.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, maybe you're talking me around a little bit maybe see the megas a little better because I guess the concern is these megas are going to come out and they're not really going to impact what people are playing because the 2 prize EXs are just just about as good as the 3 prize EXs. So you don't play the 3 prizers, right? And it's not good when the game, if we have like the next 6 months, the game doesn't change really. That's not a good thing.
Yeah, but maybe I'm like wrong about that as well. I mean, looking in Japan and also at the future reveals. I mean, a lot of these cards. I mean, Fire Breather was revealed. People are like, oh, not more support for Goldengo, and then people are like, oh, not more support for Gardevoir and stuff like that. So we'll see what the game ends up being like. But I am excited for the megas. I think they're kind of fun. Though I am excited to look at more of them as well in the future. But anyways, we hope you enjoyed the podcast or the video today. If you're watching on YouTube, or if you're not, still make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube at Uncommon Fossil and 10 Types. Also hit the bell or whatever, all that stuff. And if you want to check us out on a different platform, you can do that if that's more convenient for you. We are on podcasting platforms, but we cannot see comments there. So if you have comments, make sure you leave them on YouTube, because YouTube, the other stuff is like kind of janky for whatever reason. But anyways, we hope you enjoyed, and as always, we're excited to see you in the next episode.
Take care.